Hello everyone, this is Ramya. I'm your instructor for the course Troubleshooting Pandas. So in this course, I'll be explaining you the basics of Python, and then we'll be moving into the Pandas library where you'll be able to analyze the data set and do analytics and play with that. So as part of the course, you'll be able to understand basics of Python and Pandas. So right now let's move on to the session. So like any other programming language, Python also has its own data types and operators. It can do wonders without that. So we have all these arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. So let's see the syntax for it as well. Okay. So I'm here mentioning a equal to 2 plus 2 and b equal to 10 minus 5, c is 155 divided by 3. So I'm just when you execute all that, it always returns you the float value. Division always returns you the float value. So here I have my output as 51.666. It goes on. So it's always a float. Even for example, I'm changing this to 5 and I'm executing it. I have a number is 31.0, which means the value is 31, but still I'm getting the answer in float. So if you want to discard the fraction part, you always have to use the double slash symbol. So okay, so here I'm using the same number and execute it. The answer is 31, but before it was 31.0. So it eliminates the fraction part. I mean, you get only the whole number. But when you want to get only the remainder, you have to use the mod symbol as here. Okay, and then to round up to the nearest number, you have to use the function round. It's a built-in function, 155 divided by 3, and you want to round up to the 2 decimal points. So its answer is 51.67. Okay, so G, I have a multiplication values like 15 into 3. So it's 45, it's assigned here, and to the power of, I mean, you want to do a square, so you have to use this asterisk symbol, multiplication symbol, sorry. So it's 15 into 15 is 225. Okay, so here you are doing assigning the operations to a variable. Okay, so you can also assign a value to a variable. So here I'm assigning height equal to 10 and width equal to 20 to find the area. So I'm doing multiplication of height into width and printing area. Okay, so I'm using Python 3. So if you're using a lesser version Python 2, so your syntax may not be the same. Okay, so I recommend you to install Python 3, and I'm using Jupyter Notebooks. So you're free to use whatever IDE as you prefer. Okay. So let's move on to the string. Okay, I'm just trying to print. This is my laptop. Okay. So when I say you always have to use quotes, quotation, single quotation or double quotation you can use. But if you want to print something else, I'm trying to print, this is Sarah's laptop, so I have apostrophe s. So which, if you're trying to do this with a single quote here, so I say this is Sarah's laptops here, I might be getting an error because I have quotation here as well as here. So the computer might get confused. So what I have to do with S laptop. So in this case, you can start with double quotation. Okay, so you can say that this is Sarah's laptop. So here we are enclosing the string with double quotation, and you have S apostrophe S. So it works. And if you want to use double quotation and within a string, and then you can enclose it with a single quotes as here it's gonna work. Both of it works. Okay, so but imagine that you still want to use like all these double quotation for strings, and then you want to use multiple double quotations within that. I always like recommend you to use this backslash symbol so that you will be like able to print it. Okay, so this is my laptop, but though laptop is in double quotation, the string is in double quotation, it is working because I am including this special character. So actually this symbol instructs the Python to ignore the special character that I have next to it. Okay, so it works. So for more examples, I recommend you to go through this Python documentation. I'm giving this link here, please note it down. Okay, and then so if you want to like print the string in the next line, or so I recommend you to use like /n, so it tells the computer to like print in the next line. So it says s equal to this is my laptop /n, and that's my phone. So here it's like printed in the next line. Okay, but sometimes this might be a trouble. For example, I say I want to print this laptop belongs to Sarah or Naveen. So here when I say Naveen, like I have /n, so the computer understands it like this laptop belongs to Sarah, and in the next line it prints Naveen. But I want it in the next line, so I'm including R before, which means I'm instructing the computer to ignore all the special characters meaning within it. Okay, so that's how it works. So if you want to do concatenation in the strings, so you can do it with the arithmetic operators as you do with numbers. So it works here as I am using this multiplication symbol and addition symbol here. So I just want to print O, so which means like I have to like add double O thrice and then a H. So please note this down. I am using this single quotes for the strings. Okay, so that's how I can do it. So you want to like say concatenate SA plus SA plus RA. So you can just use multiplication symbol, addition symbol, or you can just use space. Both works. So I can just show you like here the addition symbol works. Okay, and then I'm just gonna give space and then run. Yes, it works. Okay, so even you add the multiplication symbol or just leave a space, both means okay. And then so you can do indexing with all the strings. So always like the first alphabet, it takes the position 0, and A it's 1, it's 2, 3, 4. So I have like 4 indexes like for this value which is assigned to D. Okay, D equal to Sarah we have. So I just want to know like what's in the first index. So it is 0. So I'm just trying to understand, and then the computer returns S. Okay, so this solves this already, and then maybe if you want to like know what is 3, okay, it's A. It works. Okay, so I have A equal to SA and A plus RA. So you can just do a concatenation with the variable as well as the string, a normal value. So it works. It says Sarah. Okay, and so indexes it works as a negative sense when you're like going from right to left. So it always you have to say you have to count this from -1 -2 until the end. So for example, I have Sarah again. So H is for -1, A takes the position of -2, my R is for -3, A's position again is in -4, and S in -5. Okay. So I'm just trying to know like what's the position of what the letter I have in -1, so it's H. Okay, sorry about that. Let me disconnect my Wi-Fi. Okay. And So you can also like do slicing with, and to get rid of substring. So like in the slicing, I'm trying to extract this strings which is in position from 0 to 3. I mean actually 0 to 2. So actually when you run 0 to 3, you get SARA. I mean you're supposed to get that, but usually like in Python, it always includes the index which is mentioned in the first place, and here it excludes this value. So it always like prints the strings from the place 0, 1 and 2. When you like say 0 to 3, it prints values which is in the places of 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so 0 to 3 you get SAR, and you want the home thing, so you have to say 5. Okay, so we have only 4 indexes, you have to say 5. Okay, or you can just leave it blank to get the home thing. Sorry, I think my keyboard is being very sensitive. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can do concatenation and slicing as well. So like from 0, instead of saying 0, you can just like leave a blank, or you can just start with nothing and then say until 2. Okay, so until 2, and then from 2 until the end. So for until 2 you get SAR 0, 1, 2, sorry, you get SA, and then after that for this you get RAH. So both are like concatenation, and you can get SARA. Okay. So for example, you're saying I want the string which is the places from 3 until 30, but we don't have 30, so it just like gives you the whole lot that you have after 3. So it's called like out of range slice indexing. Okay, so it just gives you a decent output. It doesn't throw you an error. That's good, right? It understands it better. So Python strings which are not be changed. For example, you want to change this name from Sarah to Lara. You can't just take this position of do and then okay say do it with L. So you can't do it. It never works. So you can just say L class from 1 from the index 1. You can just add it. Okay, so you can't do it because Python strings are immutable. Okay, it won't work. And you can find the length of the strings using this inbuilt function called len. Okay. Okay, now we'll be like moving towards the Python data structures. So I'll be like explaining you the basics of list before we like getting into Python pandas library, because like you have to like know those basics to understand pandas better. Okay. Okay. So here I'm assigning a few values to the variable fruits. So I have like orange, apple, pear, banana, kiwi, apple again, and banana again, which is assigned to the variable fruits. And for numbers, I have a list of numbers. Okay, to identify the length of the fruits, I mean length of any variable, you can just use length len function as I told you before. So I'm just running this. Okay, so to run this, you can just like hit this run button here, or you can just like use the shortcut command shift plus enter. Okay. And if you want to like save this, you can just save this, use the save icon, and then if you want to like create a new cell below, you just have to click this, and you want to delete it, you just click this. Okay, and then you can use this to copy, and then this is for paste, and these arrows like help you to navigate through this cells, and this is for running as well. And like this kernel, this is like used to stop the kernel, like when you're like running very big algorithms or data models, it takes some a long time for this Jupyter notebook to process. So in that case, you can just like hit this button, the stop button. Okay, and this is to like restarting the kernel, and this is to like to rerun the whole book. Okay, you can like do this. Okay, this is really interesting. So always it's in default. You can see this selected in this code. When you like click on this drop down, you can see the markdown. So when you like see, for example, this one, it's always marked down. So it like just highlights you. For example, if you want to like change this to a heading, I mean, if you want to add a heading, and then you can just like choose this and then just run it. Okay, it turns out to be your heading. Okay, and you just want a raw text here and not any heading. Okay, so you can just choose this raw and reconvert. Okay, so to find out the length of the variable or list variable, so you can just use the function len as I told you before. Okay, you can do indexing list as well. So I'm just trying to identify the position of the second value in fruits, which is 01. It's here, yeah, here. And for number, it's 48. And for -2 of fruits, it's apple, and kiwi is in -3. So it works the same way as in the strings. Okay, so and if you want to like count, okay, how many times you have apple in fruits, you can just like count apple. Okay, it gives you 2. And then for example, if you want to like count 96, just remove this number, it gives you the value 3. Okay, and if you want to get the index of 96, so you have like 96 repeated 3 times, you'll get the first one. Okay, so if you want to reverse the order, I can just give fruits.reverse and then it gets printed. Okay, and if you want to sort it alphabetically, and then you can just give fruits.sort. So you can see the output is like sorted in the alphabetical order. If you want to delete any one of the value, you can just mention its position and then you can just print it. So here I was trying to delete the first value because I have apple repeated twice. So when my code is like delete food to the index 0, and I'm printing it so I don't have apple twice. Okay. So here I'm trying to delete it, the first 4 items. So you can just use the range 0 to 4, so it runs everything except orange and pure. Okay, so if you want to do some addition in the list, what usually like happens is like it just get appended. For example, I had a few values in the number variable, and then number 2 I'm adding few things. I have few values, and then when you like add it, so both of them get like added together. It's not literally adding it. I mean, nothing is like added. There is no addition is taking place. The numbers get appended. Okay, so if you want to like append only a single value, so you can just like print or you can just type the variable name and append the value. Okay, so let's move on to the control flow statements in Python. So we'll be looking on a few statements like for, if, nested loops. Before we like move in to our other stuff. Okay, so here I'm trying to print uh, whatever I have in the variable y. So I have declared few values in the variable y, so and I just want to like print everything, so I'm using for function. Okay, so for I'm assigning this to num and then I'm printing them. Okay, so there is an accurate syntax here where you will be like printing the index number. Okay, so here you're like saying range of length of number. Okay, so you're using this length of number and then putting this in the range and then assigning to num and then you're printing it. Okay, here this other way with different syntax where you will be like printing the number with num and the index. Okay, there's a different syntax here, and there's a different syntax which is represented in the square brackets here as, and this gives the indexes with square brackets. Okay, so we have we'll be looking into the if statement. For example, if you like input an integer, it checks a few conditions, okay, whether it is equal to 0 or less than 0 or greater than 0. So I have a program here like it changes all the negative numbers to 0, and then like say okay it is changed to 0, and then you can see the syntax here, and then if it is equal to 0 it prints 0, and if it is equal to 1 it prints single, and then if it is more it says okay it's more. Okay, so for example I am like printing 0, typing 0 and then says it's 0. Okay, and then if it is like I am saying I'm printing 5 and it's saying no, please. Okay, thank you guys, that's all for today. So in the next session we'll be looking into pandas. Okay, if you got any doubts you can just reach out. Bye for now. Bye.